Some of you guys have been with us since OG Career Fiesta. Mga OG Career Fiesta babies dyan, say hi. I see some familiar names. Hi, hi, hi. But if you were here last year and you heard my closing speech, you know that my closing speech was all about excellence over resilience, right? And the truth is, we all know that the pandemic does not have an end in sight just yet. So it's difficult to stay clear-headed, hopeful, and optimistic. But we are Filipinos, ladies and gentlemen. We are Filipinos, and excellence has to be our trademark, right? So to kick off the Career Fiesta festivities this year, we invited Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines Incorporated President and CEO, Gareth McGeown, and he is here to remind us all of what Filipino excellence looks like in the time of crisis. So Gareth currently oversees the Philippine operations of Coca-Cola as the President and CEO of Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines Inc., a post he has held since December 2018. In 2019, under his leadership, CCBPI was cited as the best performing Coca-Cola bottler globally by bagging the Candler Cup 2019, and that's the most coveted award within the Coca-Cola system. So before moving to the Philippines, Gareth was the CEO of Coca-Cola Bottlers Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei. Prior to that, he was the market's commercial director for 2 years. Before his Malaysia assignment, Gareth was the commercial director in Myanmar when the market first opened its doors after years of economic sanctions in the country. Gareth has been with the company for 19 years. Baka edad yan ng mga tao dito, but yes, he's been with the company for 19 years, starting a career in Coca-Cola in Ireland back in 2002 as a finance associate. So ilang taon na kayo noong 2002, chat niyo naman. But after taking on different roles in the finance and commercial fields within the company, he now leads one of Coca-Cola's top markets around the world. So having spent many years in Asia, this part of the world has grown so close to his heart. He considers the Philippines as his second home. Being happily married to a Filipina, Gareth has always insisted that all this undoubtedly makes him part Irish and part Filipino. So before we hear his lovely, lovely speech, best CEO ever, yay! Let's watch this short clip from CCBPI. Awesome! What a beautiful video, guys, that showcases the diversity of talent in CCBPI. Quick pulse check down from Coke, guys. They want to know how young is our audience today. How young are you guys? Sige, may poll tayo dyan. There you go. So if you can just, put it in the poll. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Hindi ako. Push ko lang. Cool. Okay. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's end the poll. Let's see. How young is everyone? Maraming students ngayon. Kasi nga naman maaga. Baka yung iba nasa work pa. But that's closely followed by those with 1 to 3 years experience. 3 to 5 years. Okay. We're about 400 plus here, so yung iba hindi sumagot, but I think chinat nyo, so thank you. Jeremy, 27, feeling 18. Push natin yan. Cool. Sige. So, Gareth, someone told me that you're already here somewhere. Hello, Gareth.
Morning, Cass. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Great. Morning.
I won't speak anymore. I've said too much. So, let's everybody give our warmest work bean welcome to Gareth McGeown.
Thank you, Cass.
Everybody.
Good. Morning, everyone. Great to be here, and we have some Coke associates on the call too. I'm not sure they're registering as 18, but I see quite a few of them. So welcome to everyone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk a little bit about CCBPI. Actually, Cass, I was listening to your intro. I might join day 2 tomorrow and learn how to negotiate my salary a little bit as well. So maybe I could get something from you guys as well, if that's okay.
That works.
That works great. What I want to do, if that's okay, is I'll give you a little bit of a background of who we are and what we do. But I think for the larger group on the call today, it may be more beneficial that you just ask me whatever questions you want. I saw most of the audience is around 22. that was when I finished my colleging and joined Coke. And we can talk a little bit about that and the journey from a finance clerk to where we are today, and the ups and downs and the problems and the challenges. So I think, Kat and team, that might be a better use of your time to help each of you. So maybe what we do is, if you guys have any questions as we go through the process, just type them in and maybe we'll try and get to them a little bit later. So maybe we can just, I think Zane is doing the slides. Zane, will you just click on the slides as we go, please, for me? Super. Just a little bit of history.
It's actually Louis or Ali. All right.
Louis. Okay. Louis or Ali. If I just say Louis, hopefully that will work. So thanks, Louis. So just a little bit of history, who we are. Actually, we were the first market outside of North America and Asia that the Coca-Cola company came to 109 years ago. So we say in the Philippines that we're 109 years young and just getting started. And we have a long and rich heritage. And I'm sure we have 444 people on the call today. I am sure that you have family, uncles, friends, relations that have been part of the Coke journey in the Philippines. And it's a long and rich heritage. But again, we're only 109 years young and we feel we're only getting started. If Louis, you jump to the next one for me, just a little bit of statistics for you to share who we are. Maybe add the next slide too. We sell around 16 billion drinks per year in the Philippines. And just to give you a context, that's 52 million drinks per day across the Philippines, just the Philippines. Globally, we do around 1.9 billion drinks per day globally. But in the Philippines, we're doing around 52 million. Louis, next slide for me. That basically means that we have one drink in every Filipino's hand every 2 days. So whether that's Wilkins, whether that's Coke, whether that's Royal, whether that's Sprite, whether that's Sparkle, whether that's Sarsi, whether that's Minute Maid, NutriBoost, it effectively means that every Filipino drinks our drink, one drink every 2 days, which is a phenomenal part of our business. And in fact, we are the 8th largest market for Coca-Cola globally. And we can talk a little bit more about that later. Next slide, Louis, just to give you a context of who we are and what we do. We have 18 brands. So some of these brands you may know, but you may not know they belong to us across 8 categories, and we continue to grow. This year alone, we'll add another 2 categories and another 2 brands. So we're very, very excited about the future and what the future holds for us. If you jump to the next one, Louis, just to give a little bit of a feel for who we are. So CCBPI, we're the bottling part of the Coca-Cola company. Like what I like to say, we're the arms and legs. We serve over 7,000 islands. We have 20 manufacturing sites. Just remember that number, very important for later. 20 manufacturing sites all across the country. We have 73 manufacturing lines. We have 86 distribution centers. We have 55 unions, which is an interesting collection. Around 3,200 trucks on the road on a daily basis, and 2,000 tool of trade, we call them, cars. We make and produce and sell about 133 individual different products. So as an example, this is one SKU. This is Coke Zero. I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is the new formula to be launched this week and next week. So keep an eye out. Over 50% of our business remains returnable glass. So as we talk about sustainability, believe it or not, half of our business remains in returnable glass. We serve about 1 million stores in general trade, so Sauri stores, Carinderias, around 40,000 key account stores with 15,000 distribution partners across the country. And we have about 16,000 people that turn up for work in our sites daily. If you include all our partners, that's over 100,000 people in our value chain. So it's a pretty big organization across the country. And, you know, maybe when you guys were kids, when I was a kid, we used to be able to do a tour of the Coke factory. We've stopped that for a number of years, but I think we should bring it back. I think it's a fabulous thing for people to see how things are made. Whether you're an engineer, a salesperson, or a finance background, I think it'd be wonderful. Next one, just a little bit about who we are, the number of people we have. Okay. This is the old slides, but that's okay. There we go. Perfect. Of the 16,000 people, let me start on the right. We have 9 senior leadership team. 99.9% of our team in Coke are local Filipinos. Fabulous team, fabulous experience, super engaged, and I'll talk about that in a second. And you'll see how it goes. We have 30 directors, 229 managers, close on 1,800 supervisors and leads, and around 7,000 associates that are frontline sales, manufacturing, logistics, delivery. And then you'll see where it sits. We're actually a massive supply chain organization. You'll see 70% of our people come from there. But the numbers I want to share with you, which are probably the most exciting for me anyways, on the left, this is what we call an engagement score, where we pretty much ask people, how do you feel about being part of the Coke company? And in 2018, our score was 72%. So very simply, 72 out of every 100 people were engaged, which means 28 people were not, which is a bit of a scary number, but probably a global benchmark and number. In 2019, we got to 94. So 94% of our people are engaged, feeling happy, feeling part of the business. And then in COVID with 2020, during the challenges, we're around 92. So these are world-class standards for engagement, and we can talk a little bit about that in Q&A. If you jump to the next one, Louis, Cass mentioned about resilience. Look, I've worked in 22 markets for the Coca-Cola company in my 19-year career. And the Philippines tends to get tested on what feels like a daily basis, but whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, we have our own share of natural disasters and issues. So 2020 alone, February, we had Taal volcano. And we have a massive site in Santa Rosa, Canlubang, and that nearly put us out of production for there. 2 weeks of ashfall, a mess. And if you ask me, there's still ashfall coming. You see the dust around Manila. Natural disasters, so 2020, 22 typhoons, 61 earthquakes above magnitude 5. And then COVID lockdown. I mean, we are now on 370 days of lockdown, and many, many jobless if you listen to all the reports. So the Philippines is not unfamiliar with natural disasters, and Filipinos get tagged of being super resilient, but I think that doesn't tell the real story. Not resilience is one thing, determination, grit, energy, belief, optimism. I think there are much better words to describe what Filipinos do and go through than resilience. Resilience is a catch-all, but it doesn't really define it well enough for me. Next one, Luis, just as we went through COVID, here are the let's say the 2 or 3 things we focused on. We said we need to protect and support, protect each other, protect our business, and protect jobs. And then we need to support each other, support customers, our customers, the million customers we talked about, and support our communities. And I think as a business, we firmly believe that we're only as strong as the communities we service and we operate in. And let's be very clear, Coca-Cola and CCBPI, we are effectively the leaders, our people in your local communities. There isn't some magic entity out there that is Coca-Cola. It's pretty much the people on this call, the team you're going to talk to tomorrow. You have a phenomenal bunch of leaders tomorrow that will take you through. So I'm excited to see what they say. Just another couple of slides, and then we can jump to the Q&A. If you jump to the next one for me, kindly. This is what we were able to do during COVID. When we said we would support each other, our customers, our communities, we put 2 billion pesos up to make sure we looked after everyone, to make sure everyone's salaries got paid, to make sure that people were paid their incentives, to make sure that we didn't scrimp on anything. We deployed face masks, we deployed product into the communities, 11,000 care kits. We empowered 10,000 OFWs through our Balik Pinas program. We did a bridge loan program for retailers to get them back up and running with 157 million pesos. We spent money on 2 million liters of water to help NGOs. We helped 65,000 families around our facilities, 174,000 PPEs, and 3 million pesos just on those that are affected by typhoons. And that's on top of all we do with our foundation on an annual basis. But if we jump to the next slide, I guess as a business and as a team, the thing we're most proud of is we did not let anybody go during COVID. It's so easy just to, redundate people and say, oh, sorry, we can't afford. We fought very hard to make sure our business continued and to make sure we had jobs for everyone. And that was a big commitment from the leadership team. And last March, when COVID came, there was no playbook. We didn't know how to do this. So we figured it out as we went along. And I think history will say we had great strategies, but the reality is we had no strategy. And we put all our smart people in the room and said, how the hell do we get this done? And we did it. And I think that's part of the optimism, belief, energy, and smarts that Filipinos have. And we can talk about that a little bit later. If we just jump to the next slide, I think we're getting close to the end, so we can jump to the Q&A section. this is pretty much what happened to our business. The red line is us, and the dotted line is, let's say, the beverage industry in the Philippines. So we were doing extremely well. You'll see our line was above the dotted line, which means we were performing well pre-COVID, better than the market, okay, which means we take market share. When COVID came, our business was divided in two. We lost 50% of our sales, but slowly came back. So you'll see by December, we were nearly back to pre-COVID numbers. But the interesting part is our red line was ahead of the dotted line, which means we outperformed everybody else. And for me, the key part of this is the secret recipe is our people, right? Everyone talks about the secret recipe in Coke, but for me, it absolutely is our people. They've got up every morning through the COVID to continue to service our customers, look after our people, service our customers, and do the right thing for our people and our business. And that's been phenomenal. And we have a project Malasakit, which is care more, do more. And this is just to support all our people and make sure them and their families are okay. We're waiting for vaccines to come for our people. We have vaccines for their families, and we're doing everything we can to make sure they're really safe and well. Can we go to the next slide? And then we'll close with a video. I don't want to get too technical, guys. Listen, this is not a maths class, but this slide is just to pretty much show what has happened to our sales. It took us 25 days to recover to pre-COVID numbers. So let's say March 16, COVID happened. By let's say by May 10, we were back to where we were pre-COVID. And on the right side is our market share. So we were 64, and then we got to 72. Same people, same system, same process, same products, same brands, same marketing, same Coke studio. The difference is people. And I think I can't highlight that enough. And hopefully we'll get some questions around people in a few minutes. Can we jump to the next slide? And then I think Cass and team, I think we can close with a video, and then let's jump back into Q&A if that works for you guys.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Gareth.
Here's to you, who never settles for less. The ones who keep us going beyond good. Going beyond an icon we've loved all our days. To serve beverages that refresh in every way. Going beyond the expected by delivering more than just refreshments to make a difference. Going beyond refreshing today to preserve the future by giving back every drop of water we use and more. Going beyond recycling to reinvent the possibilities. And when times are hard, we'll go beyond relief to help rebuild and restore hope. And when all is said and done, when we've given our best, when everything is good, then we'll know it's time to once again go beyond. Coca-Cola, go beyond good.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gareth. That was such a lovely talk. I can't believe that all of your 16,000 employees, none of them got laid off. None of them lost their jobs when everybody was powering through the pandemic and losing their jobs. Congratulations to that. That's an amazing accomplishment as a company. And what's more, it only took you 25 days to get back up on your feet. That's still a very short time. That's less than a month. I mean, you have amazing people in the company to make, to make that happen. Congratulations, Gareth.
Almost 500 now.
Oh, hey, Rani. Okay. But Gareth, congratulations. That's such an amazing achievement as a company. And I'm sure I've seen the chat. Everybody's just as astounded and as amazed as I am by the accomplishments. And while you were speaking, there's actually a lot of people who shared with us that, their grandfathers used to work at Coke, their uncles used to work at Coke. So it really is part and is weaved into the Filipino culture that Coke is part of our lives. So thank you so much for your leadership. And
Welcome.
Thank you for inspiring all of us that excellence indeed, makes great things happen. It's not just resilience. It's not just taking in everything and waiting for something to happen. It's actually doing something about it. So
Correct.
Thank you, Gareth. I hope you all, thank you. I hope you all are as inspired as I am with that story of Coke. They've been with us for 109 years. That says a lot about how amazing the company is. That says a lot about how much dedication the people they have in the company. So if you guys haven't checked out Coca-Cola yet, it's time to do that. And remember, they don't just have Coca-Cola as the product, they have a whole range of different stuff available for you too. Your husband works at Coca-Cola. Awesome, Hanny Leon. Okay, so thank you, Gareth. But guys, if you haven't followed Gareth on LinkedIn just yet, I know he doesn't want people to say this, I've heard, but I've heard that he's one of the most influential people on LinkedIn today. So if you haven't followed him yet, don't miss out. Don't wait, just follow him now. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot of nuggets when you follow Gareth on LinkedIn. All right, so now Coke is super generous. As you can see, they actually prepared a super exciting game for all of you guys. So if you remember, Gareth keeps saying, remember these numbers, remember that. It's actually because something's coming up. Playing Coca-Cola Trivia is it's like a part of our lives because they've been in existence for so long. Coca-Cola Trivias are always a part of our games that we play. But I won't say anymore because I might just drop hints and give you the answers right away. So we're going back to the game. Louis, are you sharing the screen? Can we go to the Q&A first? Sure, we can go to the Q&A first. So guys, we're just gonna leave you hanging there, right? But Shakey's delivery is available to 5 winners later on pagdating ng quiz. So remember those numbers, keep it in your head, don't forget it. But for now, guys, we don't have the opportunity to have Coca-Cola Beverages Philippines President and CEO talk to us like this. You know, as a friend, as a barkada, and as a person who also tambays with us here in this event. So I know that you guys have questions prepared for him. I've seen some people raise their hands. So I'm just not sure, Rosette, do you have any question? If you do, you can feel free to unmute. Show us your beautiful face. Venice, I see your face. If you have questions, raise your hand lang, unmute yourself, and just ask away.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Hi,
Morning.
everyone. Am I loud and clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Sir, nice to meet you po. You're so pogi.
Oh.
Sir, by the way, I'm Venice. I'm recently graduated from PUP Quezon City and currently working at SM Development Corporation. So I would like to humbly ask, sir, how do you develop leaders into becoming someone like you po?
Oh. Maybe it's a simple question, Venice. How do you develop leaders, right? You're making an assumption that I'm a good leader. So let's remove that for a second. I think there's a couple of things you need to do. Let me give some examples, right? So I spent my career, and when you start working, people will tell you the things you need to work on. And they very rarely tell you the things that you're good at, okay? So what you end up doing is you spend a disproportionate amount of your time trying to get better at the things that you're not so good at, right? And what I've learned over the last, let's say 19 years, maybe the first 9 I didn't learn, the last 10 maybe, is that even if you spend 80% of your time to try and fix, let's say, the gaps or the areas of improvement, it'll still only move you a little bit. I would much prefer that you spend the time on the things that make you excellent. Right? So that's number one. So when we talk to all our leaders, we figure out what makes them special. And we always talk to them about what is brand Venus, right? So what is your brand? What do you want people to see you as? When you walk into an organization, are you collaborative? Are you a leader? Are you a thinker? Are you strategic? How do you want to be? And then you spend the time to figure that out. I guess that's number one. So that's about, I guess, a little bit of reflection. And a little bit of, sometimes it's ugly reflection, right? You say, oh, I don't really want to recognize that I'm not so good at this, but also recognize the things you're good at, number one. Number two, don't underestimate the power of experience. And I don't mean that you need to work for 20 years to get a job. I mean the experience of learning different things. The experience you're with SM, spending time with the leaders in SM and saying, how do you see this? What do you think of when you go here? What is important to you? I think that's hugely important. And I think also as leaders, we need to define, what does the future leader look like? Because I guarantee you, the future leader of CCBPI is not me. The skill set is not me. The next leader needs to have something else that I don't have. So we need to be planning and developing for that. And we need to spend time, we need to spend money. But forget the money for a second. I think if leaders just spend time with their people, talking to them, explaining as opposed to dictating, I think people will be much more receptive. And that has been my experience here. The more time you spend with people and explain the whys and not the whats, I think it makes a massive difference. 99% of our people wake up every morning to try and come in and make a difference. And our job as leaders is to get the next level ready to take on bigger roles. And success for me in the Philippines, not only that there's Filipino leaders doing my job, that's an easy one. It's that Filipinos are running other parts of the world for Coke. So I think that's kind of the mindset. Does that help, Venice?
Yes, sir. Super po. Thank you so much, sir.
You're more than welcome. Please call me Garrett. No, I was christened Garrett by my mom. Don't call me, so thank you.
Yes, sir. Gareth Pogi.
Just Garrett's okay. My wife will be jealous, no? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Venice, thank you so much. We have a couple more people raise their hands, so maybe let's do this. Marlon, you go next, and then Martina, and then Shania. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So Marlon, Martina, and Shania.
Hello, good morning, Sir Garrett. So
Morning.
Apologies, no, I cannot open my video. You see, I'm saving my data. I'm living right now in
That's
the
okay.
province in Batangas. I have been following Coca-Cola since I was a kid, and right now that I am studying, I admire how you handle and how you value your people. No, I have two questions, lang. So first question is, what is your advice to younger generations who experience setbacks and rejections towards pursuing their career goals? And number two, what is your advice to all the people here attending the workweek who wanted to apply also with Coca-Cola?
Okay, so the first one is around, so thank you. The first one's around rejections and stuff. Look, you can read all these things on LinkedIn and Facebook that says, oh, rejection is a way for you to get stronger. But when you go through that exercise, it doesn't feel that way, correct? You feel like, oh my God, I failed.
Agree. I'm agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so it's very easy to read the memes and say, oh yeah, I shouldn't feel this way, but you do. You're a human being, you're emotional. We all feel frustrated, angry, disappointed. But I'll give you a great phrase my mom used to say to me years ago when I was growing up. And she says, what's for you won't pass you. And what passes you wasn't for you. And, you know, it's only as you get a little bit later in life, you say, my goodness, thank God that didn't happen to me, because I wouldn't have met this girl, or I wouldn't have met this guy, or I wouldn't have had that career opportunity. So at the time, it feels terrible. So that's number one, that you always need to try and remember. Maybe there's a bigger picture for you. The second thing I would encourage you to do is only stress about the things you can control. You cannot control how somebody feels about you, perceives about you, thinks about where you come from. You cannot control natural disaster. You cannot control COVID. And it's very, very easy to start stressing about all these things, and they pull you down emotionally. I think you need to only focus on the things that you can control. And if you do that and ignore the rest, you'll kind of be a little bit freer to reflect and think a little bit more. And the third thing I would say is just, in some ways, even though it's painful, take it as an opportunity to learn. I'll give you an example. Let's imagine you do an interview and you don't get the job. I can tell you it's a tiny percentage, if zero, that reach back out and say, can you give me feedback of why I didn't get the job so I can grow and develop? If somebody did that to me, I'd probably reverse my decision and maybe even give them the job, because it shows that they're willing to, you know, accept and develop and grow. So I think, you know, maybe turn that knock or fall into an opportunity. So I guess those will be my three pieces of advice to help you. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much, and stay safe, Garrett.
Okay, good. The second question was how to apply for Coke, right? I guess you just go onto our LinkedIn page on CCBPI and see what's there and apply. You know? I think that would probably be the easiest way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Gareth. So before I go to you, Martina, no, I'm seeing a lot of hands raised. Can we just quickly pick up from the chat box as well?
Sure.
I saw a question from Gino. I hope I said it correctly. Gino Nebris. So Gareth, here's a question. Many companies have adopted different FWAs. What is FWA? Do you know if you can chat
Work
that?
from home.
How did maybe that's yeah,
FWA?
it's working. Yeah, okay. So many companies adopted that. How did Coca-Cola? You have 16,000 employees, and it's no joke to keep them engaged while working remotely. What was the strategy there?
FWA is flexible working arrangements. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Another acronym for me to learn. Look, of the 16,000 people, the majority of them still report to sites. If you look at our business, we source product locally, we produce in our plants, we deliver, we sell. So of the 16,000, there's only about 1,000 that are working from home or flexible arrangements. The reason for that is two. One is we want to restrict the number of people coming into our facilities for safety protocols. And number two, if we can remotely work, we'll remotely work. So we protect the people that are staying at home, and then we protect the people in our sites. What have we been doing? So it's actually easier for those on site because you provide the PPE, you can talk to them directly, we can do town halls, we visit all our sites. I guess the challenge is for those 1,000 that are at home. And the learning for me at the beginning of this COVID, I was like, why are people, freaking out about working from home? Surely they're happy. But it turns out people were finding it more stressful. They had kids running around, they had dogs running around, they weren't getting their job done. The kid was pulling their leg to go and play outside, et cetera, et cetera. So it turned out to be more stressful working from home. What we've been trying to do is we regularly communicate. So we do multiple town halls on a monthly basis. We have a daily email that I send out to the whole organization every day, just explaining how the business is doing. We have consulting services for mental health for people that need some support. We continue to try and engage and re-engage and have our leaders all the way down through the organization connect with their teams and assess how they are and help each other. And we try and remove some of the, let's call it the emotional baggage cast that people are carrying. So we made sure our HMO provider covered everyone for COVID. So if they got it, they were covered. If their family got it, they were covered. We're getting vaccines for our people. If any of our people get sick, we get them into the best hospitals, we get them the best medical care. So we're trying to remove those burdens that people are carrying that are unnecessary for them to carry, to get them to focus on doing their job and looking after their families. So I think those are probably the two things moving forward. Also, we spend a lot of money enabling our people to be connected. So all our frontline salespeople have tablets like this. And through the tablets, they're able to do Zoom calls or Teams calls. They're able to connect, email, message. So we've tried to connect the organization so physically they don't all need to be in one place. So I think the COVID has helped us accelerate our technology transformation at the same time. So hopefully that kind of gives a bit of a top line view, Cass.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, if there's anything that COVID accelerated, it's the technological transformation needed. So I'm so happy to see that Coke has actually gotten on that and has started to do that even more. So thanks, Gareth. So I've seen, hi Jeremy, I see a new hands raised. So just to remind everybody, so we're gonna go with Martina, Shania, Jeremy, Gabby, and then we're gonna go to the chat box. So you guys have Gareth until 11. Am I correct, Gareth? There's so many.
Whatever time you need. I have a little bit time after that, so I will extend. Don't worry.
Amazing. So Martina, let's go.
Good morning, Mr. Garrett. So I just have one
Morning,
question.
Martina. Sure.
If you can choose one between the two, would you pursue the job that you love or the job that pays the bill?
So when I joined Coke at 22, I joined it to pay the bills. I think it's an easy question to answer when you have enough money to pay the bills. When you don't have enough money to pay the bills, you take whatever job you can get and then you try and journey. So Martina, I would say when I started in Coke, Coke was not my employer of choice, believe it or not. I finished a master's degree and wanted to move into banking, right? Now I was shallow, I had no clue. I said, I like the finance banking, they wear nice suits, they have nice jobs, they get good money, let's go for that. I ended up taking a job in Coke because I had to pay my student loans. And actually what ended up happening was I fell in love with the company, and more so I fell in love with the people. We had great people in Ireland, and I started as a finance clerk. Then I started to really enjoy the company and progressed and went through my career. And so I would say now for me, in my current role, it's about the job experience. Do I enjoy it? Do I get value out of it? And do I have a good boss? But when I was 22, looking for a job is what job will give me enough money that I can pay my bills for now. So for now, it's different, right? As you progress in your career, your aspirations or what's important to you changes, and that's okay. That's normal. That's normal. So I'd say that would be the answer, Martina.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gareth. I'll be passing it on to the next person. Next question.
Okay, thank you so much. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Martina. All right, Shania.
Hi. So just bouncing off of the last question, you mentioned that you joined Coke at 22. If you're to look back at your journey to where you are now, do you have any advice for us who are about to enter the job market as young professionals?
So when I joined Coke, Shania, at 22, I had no clue what I wanted to do. No clue. You know, I just joined Coke. I got a decent job. I was liking it. I had some money. I was able to go out with my friends on the weekends. That was it. Life was good. Asking me about my long-term career ambition at 22, I had no clue, right? No clue. And it probably took me 8 years to figure out what I wanted to do, because what you think is the job, and then when you actually see it, is very, very different. So my advice to you guys is not to be so caught up in this is the role I want at 25 or 28 or 27. Don't put that extra stress or burden on yourself. Join an organization that you feel that the values suit you, you want to get the experience, you like it. And sometimes just let the wind blow you a little bit, right? You're going to be working. Shania, what age are you, if you don't mind? 20, what? 22?
21.
21. Okay. So you are going to be working, whether you like it or not, till maybe you're 60, right? Unless you become a zillionaire and you launch your own business, right? But let's imagine you're going to be doing this for 40 years. Take the first few years to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what kind of company you want to work for, what kind of people you want to be with. Don't set yourself targets to be this role, because the wind will blow you off course, and that's okay. Be okay with a little bit of gray area. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do until I was about 29. And only then I started my journey, right? So I kind of bounced around a little bit for the first few years. So don't put that extra burden and stress on yourself. Enjoy it. Find a company you like, find people you like to be around, and then it doesn't become a job anymore. You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you so much. Passing it on
Welcome.
to
Thank you.
Gabby.
So Jeremy first, and then Gabby. But
Oh,
can I just chime in on that? That's some super great advice, Gareth. I mean, there's so many people right now, especially this generation, they're super stressed about what they're going to do next once they graduate. So I think graduation season is coming this June, and a lot of them have been asking us, what do I do next? You know, what is the best career path for me? And you really just said it correctly. There's no one way. Sometimes you really just have to try everything and see what works for you, and then figure out your life after that. So thank you for that reminder, Gareth. Jeremy, you're next.
Yeah, hey Garrett, I want to ask, when do we get discounted Coca-Cola products when we work with Coca-Cola?
Well, discounted, not so much discounted, but when you work for us, they're free, right, in the offices, right? So I don't know about discounted, but definitely when you come to the office, they're all free in the office. So that's a perk of the job, I guess.
Nice. Well,
You also get free clothes, you know? You also get free clothes. Maybe that's more important, no?
yes, really, really important. Well, I said discounted because I asked this question on another company, so I have to use this discounted, so wouldn't ex- I will expect less because I might get a heart attack.
Thanks,
Super.
Jeremy.
Thank you,
But you know,
Jeremy.
I can actually vouch for that. So when I graduated from college, I actually went into the sales trainee program of Coke, and boy, do they have everything prepared for you in the office. So I can vouch for that. You get a lot of those perks when you get to join Coke. But you have to be really smart to get into Coke. All right. Sorry, Gabby, I know that you're next, but I do want to take this chat question. Super interesting. Gareth, you might be able to relate because if I'm not mistaken, you did take a master's or MBA at some point. Is that correct? You did.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a question here. So from, I think it's AHK. Do you think character and experience is better than MBA? He has a 2-year experience in marketing and planning to get an MBA, but has been told that MBA is irrelevant nowadays. Elon Musk also said that he doesn't really care about degrees or MBAs. What's your take on that?
Firstly, you need to know why you're doing the MBA. I guess if the MBA is for you and for your own development, nobody can tell you it's beneficial or not beneficial. I think that's probably number one. Number two, I have a slightly different philosophy, right? Just a little bit of history cast for you. My dad was a Coke employee too. He was a forklift driver in the factory in my hometown in Ireland. And he never had the opportunity to go to college, but he ended up getting a job at Coke. And that helped us with our family and our home and our life and putting myself and my brother through school. So for me, Coke is in the blood. But more importantly, I like that they took somebody that hadn't even graduated and gave him an opportunity to grow and become a supervisor in a company when he was in his 50s. I think that's phenomenal. And for me, when I look at our business today, yes, I know a lot of people want to have MBAs and degrees and stuff, but for me, I hire for energy, talent, and experience. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do the MBA, but you need to make sure you're doing the MBA for the right reasons, right? Not because you think it will help you. I'll give you a good example. When you do interviews, a good education will get you an interview. A good personality will get you hired, but hard work and belief and energy will get you promoted. So I guess the point is, if you get in to do the interview, the rest is up to you. If you've already passed the initial test of getting for the interview, then your education shouldn't make a difference. But the MBA will help you maybe get that interview. So it's a balance, and you're going to have to put yourself through the 1, 2, 3 year MBA to get it. I did an MBA because when I was coming out of college, there were so many people in Ireland with a degree, and I felt the MBA would give me the edge, and I had no real working experience, and that's why I did it. If you ask me now, would I go back and do an MBA or a PhD? No chance. I wouldn't give the time or energy. I don't think I'd be able to do it anyway. I'm not smart enough. So it depends where you are in life, what you want to do, if you feel it'll benefit you in the long run. But for me, if you have a super personality, energy, smarts, optimism, enthusiasm, that's 90% of what we're looking for. I think Elon Musk was a bit of an off the cuff, but his point was hire for skills and talent and energy first. Hopefully that helps.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Gareth. I think that gives a whole new perspective to the people here, because I know a lot of people here are also charting out their next steps. I've heard a lot of young people telling me, oh, after a couple of years, I'm going to take my master's. That's the path. That's the plan. But, guys, things can change. A lot of things can happen that, MBAs or master's degrees may not be relevant for the jobs that you want in the future. So thank you, Gareth. So we're down to the last two questions, because we have 5 minutes left. I still want to give you that game, you guys. I still want to take a photo with Gareth. So I'm going to do this, Gabby and then Alfred. But if that wraps up quickly and we still have probably a minute, we'll just take another question from the chat box. But Gabby and Alfred, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Gabby King from De La Salle University, and I'm a graduating student. My question is, when the pandemic hit us last year, how did Coca-Cola adapt to address the need of consumers who now purchase products online?
Yeah, good question, Gabby. Thanks. Look, when we pre-COVID, everyone was like, yeah, online is very small. Don't worry too much. And our online business, if I'm really honest, was Shakey's. The Shakey's do a great job of helping us with our online business. But we had to accelerate really quickly, and we had to figure it out really quickly. And I would say, I would give us a 3 or 4 out of 10. I think the opportunity is huge, and we're only kind of starting to scratch the surface. I spent some time with Brian Koo. You may know Brian, right? Or you may know of Brian a few weeks ago, and we were talking about what could we do with Grab. And there's just so many. It's such a dynamic space, Gabby, and it's moving so fast. Like if you drive through Manila, there's Grab that we know, there's Lazada drivers, there's there's Kika-Roo or something. There's so many. Every time there's a different motorbike going around, say, who are these guys? And everyone keeps popping up. So I think historically it hasn't been a focus. Moving forward, it needs to be. And I think even when we come past COVID, it's still going to be an essential part of, I would say, a winning strategy moving forward. So we have a lot of work to do. We've made progress, but give us time. We need to crack that too. And when you have old people like me, Gabby, it's a little bit harder, right? So I rely on some of my younger team to tell us what we need to do.
Right. Thank you for your,
Cool.
thank you for your
Gabby,
answer.
that means they need you. They need you and your friends.
Looking forward to it.
And everybody here, they need you guys. Let's put Coke online. All right, Alfred, what is your question?
Hello, just a simple question. About a while ago, I'm an undergraduate student taking up entrepreneurship. And I would like to ask, what made Coca-Cola take the big leap from simply just selling Coke to selling 18 brands in total?
Good question, Alfred. Look, I don't think it's a big leap. I think it's just a natural progression. Our consumers continue to get more advanced. They continue to demand different things. They continue to see new options. And if you see in the world that we're in today, if you look at Boozy, there's, I'm sure you guys log on to boozy.com, let's be honest, right? So you see you have all these Suntory alcohol drinks coming down, you have Asahi from Japan. The consumers are looking for different things, right? So yes, Coke, Sprite, Royal, Wilkins will be a mainstay, but there are huge opportunities for people looking for something different. And that's the market we need to move into, right? So we have a vision, Alfred, to become a total beverage company, which means we have everything for anyone wants, whether it's breakfast time, evening time, nighttime, lunchtime, dinner time. And that's the role we need to get. So, it sounds like a lot that we have 18 brands, but I'm not sure that's what the future, maybe the future needs to be 36. I don't know. But I think we need to accelerate. I think what got us 109 years won't get us to the next 19 years. So we need to kind of transform how we look at our consumers, not only, like Gabby said, with our distribution, but also in what we offer them. So the journey is exciting. We will launch some new products in Q3, Q4. Maybe Cass will send some samples to you guys and you can share them with your alumni, whatever you want to do, and maybe they can give us some feedback as well. Thank you, Alfred.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Gareth. One last question, though, just to wrap it all up. You said that you started working at Coke at 22, and we have a lot of 22-year-olds here. If there's one thing you want to tell your 22-year-old self, Gareth, what would it be?
Well, I'm not sure you want to know. Let me see. If I was to give advice to 22-year-olds, maybe that's a better question.
And probably drink
I
less
would
is
say
the number one advice if you're going to give your younger self, right? Drink less.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. But I mean, I enjoyed my youth. I think that's important, and maybe that kind of relates. You only get to be 22 once, and don't put unnecessary stress or pressure on yourself. You have to live your best life, and you're only accountable and responsible to you. Yes, you want to make your parents proud. Yes, you want to do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's you that has to lie down in your bed at nighttime, and all these things go through your head. You need to be comfortable with yourself, and don't put so much stress and burden on yourself, because it can be inhibiting, and it can stop you being the real you. So I have learned during my time, Cass, where you take all the feedback from people and you change because they expect you to look this way and dress this way and speak this way. And then pretty soon you've kind of lost yourself and you've lost who you really were. And then you spend years to try and get back to who you were. So I think don't put extra stress on yourself. Enjoy life. Opportunities will come. Stay optimistic, stay energetic, and try and figure out what you really want to do. And be okay to make mistakes and be okay to fall down and pick yourself back up again. I think those are probably the best advice I could give at 22.
I love that. That's a perfect summary of the entire session. Thank you so much, Gareth. Remember, guys, be yourselves. Don't too much pressure on yourselves, and it's okay to fail. Remember that. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Thank you, Gareth. I know it's 11 o'clock. We're 1 minute late, but if it's okay, let's just take a quick photo for everybody. And I'm going to do the games. This is the Coca-Cola Refreshing Quiz. 5 questions, 5 winners of Shakey's. What's this? The Shakey's package delivered straight to your doorstep. So the first question is, let's keep it moving, guys. The first question is, super easy lang to. How many years na si Coca-Cola nag-refresh ng Philippines? Go. Ay, hindi ako nag-go. Pero sige.
135.
Ay, nag-unmute.
Wait
Chat
nga
nyo,
lang,
guys.
kalma.
O, kalma ka daw. Yun. By the way, Coca-Cola employees, bawal kayo Coca-Cola employees, bawal. You all know this by heart na.
Inauna na.
Okay, the source of truth is no other than Zane only. So, Miss Zane, sino ang pinakaunang nag-chat ng correct answer?
Yung lagi nating nakikita ang pangalan, si Paolo Lagrisola.
Paolo Lagrisola! Yay! Congratulations, Paolo! Okay, someone from our team will get your details. Everybody, can we just mute ourselves? Parang there's noise somewhere. Sorry. Cool. Thank you so much for muting yourself, whoever you are. I appreciate you. Thank you. Congratulations, Gareth. The correct answer is 109 years. Yes, you listened, you typed. I'm so proud. Ngayon, okay, let's change the game rule a little bit. Kasi medyo na-shock ako sa energy niyo. Si Gavin, nandito rin siya. So, question number 2. Louie, can you see it? Can you do question number 2? All right, question number 2. Wait lang. Ay, yun na nga sinasabi ko. Excited na sila. So yung question, ano yan? How many plants have been manufacturing your most beloved Coca-Cola products? The answer is 22 years old si Gareth. Hindi yun yung answer. But the correct answer is 50. Javier, wrong. Zane, do you have the correct answer and the fastest typer? I can't hear anyone. Hello?
So what's the answer?
The correct answer is 20 plants.
It's Gavin
You guys.
Dinkong.
Gavin, you won. So, di ba, 20 manufacturing plants. Nasaan ba yung mga planta na yan? Sa Luzon, there's 10 plants. Calasiao, Ilagan, Ilocos, San Fernando, Maykawayan, Canlubang, Santa Rosa, NRP, and RGB, Imus, Naga, and sa Visayas, they have 6 plants. Bacolod, Iloilo, Cebu, Cebu Wilkins, Tacloban, Tagbilaran, and Mindanao, may 4. Davao 1, may Davao 1, may Davao 2, may Misamis Oriental, and may Zamboanga. All right. The correct answer is, question number 3. Wait lang ha. When I flash question number 3, type agad ha, guys. Energy, typing agility. Let's go. Question number 3. Question number 3 is, how many plants have been, how many unique brands does Coca-Cola offer in the Philippines? Oh gosh. This has been said many, many times.
Meron na,
The correct answer is, what is the correct answer?
18.
18
It's
brands.
Maui Perez.
All right, Maui Perez. Maui, congratulations. Someone will reach out to you to get your details. 18 brands, guys. The brands of Coca-Cola. Someone please mute themselves. Thank you so much. But the brands range from Coke Original, Coke Light, Coke Zero, Minute Maid, Schweppes, ang magandang partner ng ating mga gin, Viva, Wilkins Pure, Wilkins Distilled, NutriBoost, Powerade. Really, sobrang dami, guys. So, if you don't realize it yet, those are Coca-Cola products. All right, question number 4. Question number 4. The question is... Oops, someone please mute. Thank you. What is the name of CCBPI and Indorama's 1 billion bottle-to-bottle recycling facility that will rise in General Trias, Cavite? Oh, hirap no, guys. Pwede mag-Google, guys. So I'm gonna give you a clue. It starts... Ooh, I think I see the right answer. Basta hindi siya Coca-Cola employee. All right. The correct answer is... Slide Master. What is the correct answer? Can you flash it, please? The correct answer is Pet Value PH. So, anyone from Coke here, are we going to accept Pet Value? Jake?
Yes,
Nina?
Pet Value is okay.
Pet Value is okay. So, Zane,
Dayancy.
who's the winner? Who?
Dayancy.
Dayancy. Hi, Dayan. Congratulations. You get shakies. Okay. All right. So, last question na to, guys. Handa nyo na yung mga fingers nyo sa keyboard nyo. Let's go. The last question is, okay, alam na natin to. Coca-Cola Beverages has big dreams in the Philippines. Ano ang 2025 growth ambition nila? I'm going to give you guys a clue. Ang ginagamit nilang, I think, unit of measurement in Coca-Cola is what we call unit cases. So sabihin na natin, ilang unit cases yung gusto nilang ma-achieve by 2025? Ilang unit cases? May nakatama na? Let's see nga. The correct answer here is, Slide Master, habang inaantay natin yan, I'm gonna spoil it for you. The correct answer is 1 billion unit cases by 2025. Kung hindi pa kayo nakapag-coke dyan sa lagay na yan, hindi ko na alam. But, super learning a lot from this quiz. I mean, you guys, 1 billion unit cases, the pet value facility na recycling plant. I mean, these are all amazing things. You probably don't know that there's a lot of manufacturing plants of Coke here. So that's a nugget of wisdom for you. And that means a lot of job opportunities are available to you guys. So thank you very much. Sinong nanalo? Zane, so 1 billion.
Arquiliano.
May Arquiliano. Hi, May. Congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. You all get shakies delivered straight to your doorsteps. Information nyo will be taken by our Workbean representatives, so please give it to them. Thank you so much, and congrats.